Hi, I'm Steve.
Hi, I'm James, and we're from Collapsing Cities.
Our album has taken a long time, but it's worth the wait. We're really stoked with it. I guess we are quite particular and quite opinionated individuals, so it's, hence making music takes a while.
So is there just a matter of like a lot of discussion going on?
I think just overthinking and overthinking kills any shit really. But we've got there in the end, and we're really happy with the end result, and we can't wait to just come and play some shows, and it's a really good record.
I mean, I think the main thing is that we got back from the UK and we were quite keen to just get back to the other parts of our lives that were important. You know, so I got back into studying, so we went back to law school and that kind of thing. So it was really trying to fit music in as being the sort of enjoyable 10% of life again, rather than the frustrating, agonizing 90% of life. And so just doing things in our own time and when we wanted to do them, rather than feeling the need to churn out another album just for the sake of it, you know.
First album, I wrote a bunch of songs. This album, it was more of a team effort, and it was good actually. James wrote Regret and Favours for Favours.
Well, I mean, I think
we wrote the lyrics, but other than that, I wrote the lyrics. But the music was like more of a teamwork, and we wrote in a lot of different ways this album, which is really cool, rather than just sort of tried heaps of things and experimented, and yeah, it was really good. It was more of a team effort, which is good. Yeah, and I think that's also good because then if everyone's involved and everyone's keen, rather than just sort of having to kind of, you know, if people aren't totally into it, then they just sort of get a bit bored, and you have to sort of nag them, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is that we all had the time to contribute our own ideas for this one. So I think, yeah, things would start in different ways. We would often go around to Tim's apartment and just lay down one idea, and then other people would add theirs. But yeah, it was much more collaborative, and also whoever brings the first idea, well, the person who brought the first idea was often different, and you might play a different instrument, and oh, that sounds really boring, we'll cut that bit.
I guess the way I was talking to James, the way to describe the two albums is the first album was kind of like you're having a party and your younger cousin comes to your party. He shows up drunk, drinks all the beers, steals some vodka, hits on a couple of girls, crashes the night, and maybe doesn't clean up in the morning, just bounces. The new album is kind of like him 3 years later. He shows up at the party with like some wine and some chips, and you're kind of like, oh, this is a bit weird. He's like, and then he kind of talks to some people, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, he seems quite nice, and then he just gaps it, and you're like, oh, that guy seemed nice. What happened to that guy?
So it's clear, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's pretty vague.
Any more questions?
Yeah. So that's the difference in the new album.
What flavoured chips does he bring?
Salt and vinegar. No, actually, he brings brainwaves and dip. And you're like, ooh.
Well, I think some of the ideas for the album came actually before we had gone to the UK, and even Regret was something that we'd played on the album release tour for the first album. And then some of the songs we sort of demoed in the UK, and a lot of the ideas came from there. And then I suppose it was when we initially got back from the UK, we probably thought that it was going to be quite quick process of producing another album, and that was probably the goal from the start. But I guess, yeah, it was just little dribs and drabs here and there, and trying to work it in with the rest of our lives. And I guess we got to a point where we did just really want it to sound as best as we could possibly make it, and so we did kind of throw everything at all the songs and sort of let them sit for months. You know, I remember walking around Auckland listening to versions of songs and thinking, no, that needs to change slightly. And then I guess, yeah, we started writing songs in little pockets here where Stephen would be up in Auckland, and then Stephen would go away again. And so it has been a bit of an organic process just over a long period of time. And I guess we had the luxury of being able to work on things for a long time. So we just sort of took that rather than, feeling the need to really quickly churn something out.
Yeah, I think also at the same time, like, I mean, second albums are always quite hard, but with our first album, we just wrote 11 songs, we jammed them out as a band, and then just recorded them and didn't think about it. And this time around, we didn't really have any rules, which was kind of good, but also, yeah, it was good and bad. And just took our time a lot more with it, and it just the only regret I have about it is personally is just saying, oh, it's going to come out then, and then, like, as you know, like, just being that guy who's like, yeah, it's coming out soon, and then it not happening. But
did you find that frustrating though? Like,
yeah, it was really frustrating.
Because I mean, you know, all jokes aside, you know, like, often I'd see you out and you'd be like really excited about it,
yeah.
and then like obviously something happened and it's like, oh, actually we've thought about it and we're not ready yet.
I guess like what James said, like, we thought it would take like it would be a lot quicker, but it's sort of like, it's not a process of just sort of writing 10 songs and they all go on the album. It's sort of like writing 10 songs, 5 of them may be good, 3 of them are crap, and then you have to just keep, like, until you've got 10 songs that you think are great, and it's quite a process, and it's, yeah, it's a learning curve though. It's a good thing. It's a bit of a war zone, but you know, you come out the other end and you're like, oh, it's over. Yeah, we can play gigs again. Cool.
Yeah, so Tim makes a lot of videos, and he made the most recent one for Regret, and I don't know, yeah, it worked out. We were really happy with it. I mean, we sort of let him go off into whatever he wants to do because he's really good at it. It's sort of the one corner of the band where we don't all argue to death about things. We just let him have it. And I think he's been working on films again recently rather than the music videos that he's been doing for a while. And so I think, you know, having a really strong narrative was just something, I guess, that he had going on, and it seemed to really fit the song. And so yeah, I was really happy with it. I was concerned that it was like the first single and that it was really dark, and that people might be sort of think that doesn't sound like us, but I think that the video really just adds another dimension to it and really sort of brings, I think, the music and the lyrics to life a bit. And so I think, yeah, he did an amazing job on it, and people have been really complimentary about it, which has been really cool. So, I mean, I think, thinking back now on this whole process of making it, I think the main feeling now is a sense of just relief. You know, that there is an answer to that question, like, when is the album coming out? And satisfaction in that we spent a long time making sure that we got it the way we wanted it. And it really feels good to be able to be proud of the work that you've done. I know that's not cool to sort of say that you're proud of something in a way, you know, but you know, I do feel really proud of the album. And in terms of what happens now, in terms of what happens to the band, it's I really just don't care, because I mean, this is, you know, we've actually put out something that I care about and am invested in, and however people receive it is absolutely fine, and whatever happens from here, I have no expectations whatsoever. I mean, I'm just relieved and satisfied at having an album that, you know, I can still listen to now, and I think it's pretty good. So.
Definitely. I think it's also, like, it's cool to have, I was saying, it's cool to have an album that I listen to now, but then maybe when I was like 18, like thinking, oh, I might have listened to it then as well, when I was like a big music fan. Like, I guess the older you get a bit more cynical, but like just going, I would listen to this when I was a teenager, you know, but I like it now as well.
So here's the almost final proof that the album actually exists. The artwork hasn't been properly delivered in a physical form yet, but we've got some cutouts that we're going to be probably stickering up later on today. But yeah, this is what it's going to look like in some form.
And the album is called Strangers Again, and it's out on July 13th. We're really excited.
And we've got an Auckland show on the 13th, oh, the 20th of July
at the King's Arms
with Pop Strangers and Beach Pigs. But thanks for watching. Thanks, Cheese on Toast. We'll flip these at ease. Cheers.